Okay guys, we are here today in Algebra 2, and a very important lesson. We're going to learn about adding and subtracting rational expressions. So when you see the word rational, what should come to mind? Ratio, Josie says. Yes, ratio. It's something over something else. Okay, now remember when we did long division of polynomials, how it really tied back to how you already knew how to do long division, right? So it's the same thing. That the way this is going to work is it's a lot like we do fractions. So we're going to go back and think about fractions. Let's say that I had 5, 6 minus 1, 4. 5 over 6 is a what? It's a ratio, right? It's a fraction, but it's a ratio. So if I was going to do 5, 6 minus 1, 4, remember when we learned this, how much we hated having to do fractions, right, back in 4th grade or whatever? But if I'm going to do 5, 6 minus 1 fourth, I'm going to have to find a what? A common denominator, all right? And any common denominator or the what? The least common denominator, right? Because you could do 6 and 4 and is 24, right? But that's not the least common denominator. You want to find the least common multiple. And so between 6 and 4, what is the least common multiple?
12.
12, right? It's not 6 times 4. You can see that it's 12, right? So it would be how many 12s? 10 12s. And then it would be how many?
3.
Okay, right. So I had to multiply the denominator by 2, so I multiply the numerator by 2. I have to multiply the denominator by 3, and so I multiply the numerator by 3. Okay? So we understand that, and then it is equal to 7 over 12, and then we see, can I reduce it? No, I can't reduce it. I'm done. Does everybody understand that? Okay. Now let's think about how we actually did this. All right? And I got to have you really pay attention. So I have to have a bucket that will hold 6, and I have to have that same bucket that will hold 4s. Do I have to hold the 6s and the 4s at the same time? No, right? So if I factored 6, what does 6 factor into? A 2 and a 3. A 4 is a what? 2 and a 2. So in my bucket has to hold a what? A 3 and a 2. And then it needs to hold how many 2s? 2. Okay. But you see, I don't have to write 2 and 2 because I already have a 2. Does that make sense? So the least common multiple is what times what times what? 3 times 2 times 2. Do you guys understand that? You really got to understand this or you're going to be confused, right? Will the 3, 2, and 2, can that hold a 2 and a 3? Can it hold a 2 and a 2? Do I have to hold 2, 3, 2, 2 at the same time? So how many 2s do I have to hold at once? 2. Do you understand how I got from here to here? Okay.
You only take the things you need.
What?
You only take the things you need.
Right, and no more. Because if I'm not careful, I would do 2 times 3 times 2 times 2, and that's 24, right? But you see, 2 and 2 got that covered. 3 and 2 got that covered. So this is the easiest way to cover that and that. And you see, on this, you knew what the answer was, but I don't think you really knew how you got there, right? You just sort of know how to do it. But do you see how you got there now? All right, so let's do another one. So you knew how to do that. Well, let's do one maybe you know, a little bit harder. Okay, if I'm going to add 1 over f and 1 over p, I need to find the what? The least common denominator. And I really don't know anything about f, so I'm going to have to be able to hold a what? And I'm also going to have to hold a what? P. So what is the common denominator going to be? FP. Okay, so I come over here. FP plus FP. Because I don't know anything about F or P, so I can't factor them, right? So it's going to have to be an F and a P. Now, what did I multiply the denominator by? P. So what do I have to multiply the numerator by? P, right? And the 1 was already there. And then what did I multiply this denominator by? So what do I have to multiply the numerator by? F. Okay, so 1F. So this is equal to P plus F over FP. Do you see it works exactly the same? Okay, exactly the same. All right. Now, let's say that I had 1 over, and we're going to find the denominator is the LCM, which is the least common multiple. Right? And you could think of it like the common denominator, but we're just going to call it the least common multiple. What if I had 1 over a squared minus 6a plus 9 plus 1 over a squared plus a minus 12. And this is a 9. I'm going to write this neater to make sure that you can see it. This is a squared minus 6a plus 9. Why is a not a very good variable to use?
Because it looks like 9.
Looks like a 9 if you're not careful. All right, now tell me, just talk out loud, like if I'm going to add those two, I'm going to have to find the what? The least common multiple. When you see these, tell me what, like just talk out loud.
You're going to need to factor it.
Yeah, you better factor it, because if you say it's this and this multiplied together, you're not going to get the least common multiple. Remember, it's sort of like 1 over 6 plus 1 over 4. You better find the factors of this and the factors of that, right? Remember how we kind of broke this apart? We got to do the same thing here. So, Jaden, what would this become?
A minus.
Okay, let's just tell me, signs the same or different?
They're the same.
They're the same. Are they plus or minus?
Minus.
Okay. So what would you say?
3.
A minus 3 times A minus 3? That looks good. All right. Mario, you're always good at factoring. Why don't you factor this one for me? A squared plus A minus 12.
It's A and C.
Are the signs the same or different?
The same.
They're what?
Or different.
Plus and minus. And what would you say? It's got to come up to what? So what are my choices?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. Will that work?
Yes. 4 and 3 and 4.
A plus 4, A minus 3. So that's plus 4A minus 3A is plus A. That looks good. Okay. Now, what would I need to hold these two terms on my LCM? What would I need?
A minus 3, A minus 3.
Yeah, I got to have
And then
A minus 3 and A minus 3. Now I can hold this.
And you just need another
Now
A
you just
plus
need
4.
A plus 4, and that's it.
Boom, that's it. You got to be careful. And do I have to hold 3 A minus 3s at the same time?
No.
What's the most A minus 3s I have to hold at the same time? This one and this one, okay? And then all I have to add is what?
A plus 4.
A plus 4, okay? So this I could take care of here, and this I could take care of here. But I don't have to do this and this at the same time. Is that making sense? All right. Now let's think of what we have here. Okay? So my common denominator is going to be A minus 3, and I'll just say squared onto A plus 4, and then plus A minus 3 onto A plus 4, A minus 3 squared. Okay, what did I multiply this denominator by?
A plus 4.
So what do I have to multiply the numerator by?
A plus
use your parentheses. There was a 1 here and then a plus 4. And what did I have up here to begin with? A what? A 1. And then times what? A minus 3.
Squared, right?
No,
Just
because I already had what?
1 minus 3.
So I just multiplied it by 1 a minus 3. So what do I multiply the numerator by?
1a minus 3.
Got it? All right, thank you. You know what? It's really good when you say what you're thinking, because then if there's something not perfect, we can figure it out. All right, so good job. Good job. Okay, so this is then over a minus 3 squared, a plus 4. And then I have a plus 4 plus a minus 3. And I'm going to have 2a plus 1 over that. Does that make sense? Okay, that is pretty easy. All right, let's do some more least common multiples. So you guys understand how to do the fraction. The hard thing is finding the least common multiple, right? So I'm going to give you 3. You have 18 r squared s to the 5th. You have 24 r cubed s t squared. And then you have 15 s cubed t. Okay? So what am I going to have to deal with? Like, tell me all the things that I'm going to have to deal with.
The numbers.
The numbers, and then what?
Exponents.
The
The,
variables.
okay, and which variables?
R, S, and T.
Okay, r, s, and t. Do you want to do the numbers first?
Yes.
Okay. So what do I need to do with the 18? I need to factor it, right? An 18 is what?
3 and
9
6.
and 2.
It's 9 and 2. Do I stop there?
No.
It's what?
3 and 6.
What?
3.
3,
3.
3, and a 2, right? So a 3, 2, and 2. Can I go any further? No. Does everybody understand that?
3, 3, 2.
3, 2, 6. No, that's not right. What did I do wrong? 3, 3. Braden, did you catch me on that? Good job. Okay. 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18. Okay, Jaden, tell me the 24. You don't have to do it in one step, but just give me a starting place.
2 and 12.
2 and 12. Can I do anything else with 2? No. 12 is what?
2 and 6.
2 and 6. Now what do I have to deal with?
6.
6 is what?
3.
3 and 2. Okay, Logan, help me with this one.
Okay. 15 is 5 and 3.
5 and 3. Okay, now, how many 3's do I need to have in my answer?
2.
2, because those two. 3 and 3. Now that I've got those, that's taken care of, and that's taken care of. Now I need how many 2's?
3.
2, 2, and 2. Because 2, 2, and 2 will take care of that. It will take care of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then nothing over there. And what do I still need?
5.
A 5. Okay, so this is 9 times 8 times 5. The least common multiple is 9 times 8 times 5, and that is equal to, somebody do that for me, 360, right? Am I done?
No.
No. Okay. Now we're going to deal with R. Okay. This one needs what?
2.
Say squared, okay? R squared. Okay. Will that hold R cubed? No, so it really needs to be what? R cubed, right? An R cubed will hold R squared?
Yes.
Will it hold R cubed?
Yes.
Will it take care of this? Yeah, so we're okay. Now let's deal with S. S to the what? S to the 5th. Will that take care of S to the 1?
Yes.
Will it take care of S cubed?
Yes.
Okay. And now T. Do I have any T's here? T squared. And then t, would that hold it? Yeah. So what is the least common multiple? 360 r cubed s to the 5th t squared. Does that look good? Does this make perfect sense? Okay. And you understand if you can do this, then the fractions are easy. All right, let's do another one with 3. Okay, let's do 12a squared b to the 4th, 27ac cubed, and 18a to the 5th b squared c. What do we want to deal with first, Mario? Okay, can you just kind of give me what 12 would be? Can you kind of see it?
6 and 2.
6 times 2, and then 6 is what?
3 and 2.
3, 2, 2. You see that? Okay. What's 27 going to be, Braden?
3 and 9.
3 and 9 is what? 3 and 3. Does that make sense? Okay. And then Logan, what are you going to do with 18?
18 is 3 and 3, 3, 3.
Yeah, 3, 3, 3. No, 3, 3, 2.
3, 3, 2, sorry.
9 times 2, right? Okay. Okay. So now, what am I? So I'm going to have. What am I going to need? How many 3's am I going to need?
3.
I'm going to need 3 times 3 times 3. How many 2's am I going to need? 2. Right? Those 2. 2 times 2. So if I can hold those 2, I can take care of that one. Now, the a is going to be a to the what, Jaden?
8 to the 5th.
Boom, a to the 5th. Okay. And then the c is going to be what, Levi?
C cubed.
C cubed. And Braden, it's going to be b to the what?
4.
B to the 4th, right? Because if I have b to the 4th, it'll hold that one, and later it'll hold that one. If I have c cubed, don't have to worry about it. It'll hold that, later it'll hold that. And then a to the, what did I say there, a? That was a 5? Okay, yeah, sorry, I didn't write that very good. A to the 5th. So this would be 27 times 4 is 108, a to the 5th, c cubed, b to the 4th. That is the least common multiple, all right? And if you can do that, then it becomes pretty easy. All right, the fractions become easy. But we're just doing the least common multiple so you can see how to do that, right? Okay, let's see if I can make it a little bit harder. I want the least common multiple of p cubed plus 5p squared plus 6p and p squared plus 6p plus 9. All right. If I'm going to find the least common multiple, Kelsey, what's the first thing that you think I should do?
The numbers.
But this is different, right? Because this isn't different terms, right? What would you do, Logan?
Factors.
I got to factor first, right? And so, Logan, how would I factor this? What's the first thing I should do?
Parentheses.
What?
You have 3.
Parentheses. Put your parentheses.
Say it?
Put your parentheses.
I can't hear you.
Put your parentheses.
I got a what?
Uh,
This is
take out a p.
say it again.
Take out a p.
And take out, we say what? Factor out a p. Okay, so I have p onto p squared plus 5p plus 6. Now I put in my what? Okay. All right, and then this, Logan, are the signs the same or different?
The same.
Okay, are they plus or minus?
Plus.
They're plus. So this would be, this is an easy one, Logan. What is it?
5 and 1.
5 and 1?
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
I'm sorry. I'm very tired.
Okay. So then, Josie, what do I need to do with this one?
Factor.
Okay. Josie, what would this be?
P plus 2 and P plus 3.
3 times 2 is not 9.
plus 3.
P plus 3 and?
P plus 3.
Okay, so that's P squared plus 3P plus 3P is plus 6P plus 9. Boom, we got it. Now, what is the least common multiple? Right, Josie, tell me the first thing, like I got to look here and here. What's the first thing I'm going to need? I'm going to need a what?
P plus 3.
Okay, I'll need a P plus 3. How many P plus 3s am I going to need, Josie?
2.
Yeah, because I got to, I got to take care of this one and this one. So P plus 3.
Could you just do that? P plus 3 is 3.
Yeah, you could. All right. What else am I going to need, Levi?
You're going to need a P.
I'm going to need just a P, right, that P.
And then a P plus 2.
And then I'm going to need that P plus 2. So the least common multiple is P onto P plus 3 squared onto P plus 2. Is this making sense? Okay. So if you can find the least common multiple, it's going to be pretty easy to do the fractions, right? It's going to be pretty easy to do the fractions. So let's see if we can work one. Okay. If I have 7x over 15y squared plus y over 18xy, Josie, if I'm going to do this, what's the first thing that I need to do?
Least common denominator.
Yeah, well, let's call it the least common multiple. Okay, the least common multiple. All right, Kelsey, what are we going to deal with first? The number. Kelsey, 15 is going to be a what and a what? 5 and 3. And then 18 is a what?
3 and 2.
Yeah, okay. So the least common multiple, the number is going to be what? A what, a what, and a what, and a what?
A 5, a 3, a 3 and a 2.
Yeah, 5 and then 3 and 3 and 2. So 5, 3, 3, 2 will hold this. 5, 3, 3, 2 will hold that, and it's the least common multiple. And now, Mario, what's going to happen with the y? What will I need? A y squared, and then I also need a what?
X.
An x. Okay? And so this least common multiple is 9 times 5 is 45 times 2 is 90. X, y squared. Okay? So I'm going to have 90 x y squared plus 90 x y squared. Okay? Then I started out with what here? 7x. I started out with what here? Y. But now, what did I multiply the denominator by to go from here to here?
6.
6x.
6.
6 and an x. Okay. What did I multiply this denominator by to go from here to here?
5y.
What?
5y.
By 5 and y. Okay. Does everybody understand what we just did? Josie, do you understand? Kelsey, did that make sense? Okay. We had a 7x and a y, but if I multiplied this by something to get this, I got to put it up here as well. So the answer is 42x squared plus 5y squared over 90xy squared. Does this make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's if I have 1 over 8m squared n plus 2 over mn squared. If I'm going to add those two, what's the first thing I should do, Jaden?
Find the least common multiple.
Okay. And Jaden, help me. The least common multiple, the 8 would be what, and what?
2, 2, 2.
And this would just be 1. So this number down here would be what?
2.
2, 2, 2 would be 8. And then Jaden, what's the m going to be? It's going to need to be what?
Squared.
M squared. Okay, and then Josie, what's the n going to be?
N squared.
N squared. Okay, so the least common multiple is 8 m squared n squared. What did I start with up here? 1. Okay, Josie, what do I have to multiply this 1 by?
8m squared, n squared.
M squared n squared?
It wouldn't be just by n.
What did I start with?
Just n.
Just what?
8m squared n.
Okay, so this is what, okay, good, Josie, because I want to make sure you understand this, and that's why I call on you, because you don't quite understand it. Okay, so the least common multiple is 8 m squared n squared. Okay, and then I had a 1. What did I multiply this denominator by to go from here to here? N. So what do I have to multiply the numerator by? N. Okay? And Josie, I'm going to let you do this one as well. So we're going to go 8 m squared n. What did I have to multiply, or m squared n squared? What did I multiply this? What did I multiply this denominator by to get this?
8m.
What?
8m.
8m. So what do I have to multiply the numerator by?
8m.
8m. Got it? So then I'm going to have n plus 8m over 8m squared n squared. Did I mess up?
Yes.
Yes. What did I mess up? Oh, there was a 2 there. Thank you. There was a 2 there. 2 times 8 is 16. You guys were paying attention. Very good. N plus 16m over 8m squared n squared. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's work a couple more just to make sure that we know how to do these. Okay, let's make sure that we know how to do these. Okay, let's say I have w plus 12 over 4w minus 16 minus w plus 4 over 2w minus 8. Okay. Kelsey, can you talk me through this and just kind of tell me what you think we should do?
Factor the 4 and the 2.
You're right. Okay. Factor the denominators, right? But why do we factor them? We're trying to find the what?
The least common multiple.
Yeah. So you were thinking that. I just want to make sure that you said it. We want to find the what?
The least common multiple.
And the right strategy is to do what with the denominators?
Factor.
Okay. So then this one becomes what?
2 and 2. Oh.
This becomes what?
2w.
Oh. You can take out a 4, right?
Yeah. Kelsey, do you see that? What can I take out?
4.
A 4. And what do we call that? We call it whatting a 4? Factoring out a 4. So Kelsey, what am I left with here?
4 times w minus 4.
Yes. Okay. Kelsey, do this one to make sure you understand it. What would that one be?
2 times w minus 4.
Yes. Okay. Now, what is the least, and this is still w plus 12 and w plus 4. What is the least common multiple going to be, Josie? I'm going to need a what and a what?
W minus 4.
I'm going to need a w minus 4, and Josie, what else am I going to need?
4 and a 2.
Well, do I need a 4 and a 2 or just a 4? What?
4.
Okay, because will 4 hold 4? Will 4 hold 2? Does it have to hold the 2 and the 4 at the same time? No. Does this make sense? Okay. So now I have the least common multiple is 4 over w minus 4. Okay, what did I have to multiply this by to get this? 1. So what do I have up here? Just a what? Okay. Now, what did I have to multiply this by to get this, Jaden? So what do I have to multiply the numerator by? So that's 2w plus 4, right?
Do we multiply the 4 by 2? It was 8.
Because I didn't use my what? Right. You got to use your parentheses. Okay? You guys, the secret to this is using parentheses. So the denominator is going to be 4 onto w minus 4. And the numerator is going to be w plus 12. And then what's the next one going to be, Mario?
Minus 2w.
Minus? Okay, Levi, you're getting it, but don't answer. Okay, let the other person think through it, because that way they'll figure it out, okay? I'm proud of you that you're getting this really quick, but I want to let the other person get a chance, okay? Minus what, Mario?
2w
Okay, and then what's the next sign?
plus
Plus?
minus.
That's where you're going to miss it. You're not going to distribute this minus. It's minus 2w and minus what also?
4
Okay,
Minus.
all right, let's put the step in. Okay, let's put the step in. This is w plus 12, and then what's the sign?
minus.
Minus. And then you could say 2 onto w plus 4, right?
Right.
Okay, now Mario, give me this top line. It's w plus 12 what?
Minus 2w
Okay,
minus 8.
minus 8. Okay, so Mario, if you don't see it, put this step in. Does that sound good? Do you understand it perfectly now?
Yes.
Good job. Okay, w minus 2w is
Negative.
minus w. 12 minus 8 is plus 4 over 4 onto w minus 4. Do we stop there?
Yes.
Yes?
Oh.
No, because you can, w minus 4 can, or negative w plus 4 can be different.
Yeah. And what
Factor out a negative.
you see it and you're having trouble saying it in words, but you see it perfectly. What you can see is that w minus 4 is almost minus w plus 4. Well, what I could do is I could factor out a minus 1, so I have minus 1 onto what does this become? If I factor out a minus 1, it's
W
what?
minus 4.
It's w minus 4 over 4 onto w minus 4. W minus 4 over w minus 4 makes 1. And so the answer is minus 1/4. Okay? So anytime you have a factor that if you can factor out a negative 1 and then make it match where you can then make them make 1, always do that. Okay?
If you
Always do
factor out
that.
the negative 1 at the bottom.
You know what, Braden? That's a great question. And you can do that. You know what? You get the exact same
I
answer.
got 4 or negative 1.
You got what?
Negative 1.
Well, you would still have a 4 down here, though, right?
I got, let me do it again.
Okay. This is real important. That's a good question, Braden, so thank you for asking. The 4 is still down there, but you just have the negative on the bottom, and the negative on the top or the bottom doesn't make a difference. You got it? But you see,
Negative 1 over 4.
okay. But your way gives you the right answer, right? You can take the negative 1 out of the numerator or the denominator, you'll get the same answer. Oh, one more. Okay, the reason this is really important is a lot of the stuff next year is going to be like this. Okay, a lot of the stuff next year is going to be like this. So I have 1 over x minus 1 over y over 1 plus 1 over x. Okay? Do I like this problem or do I hate this problem? I hate it. Why do I hate this problem?
It's complex.
Yeah, it's a 4-level one, right? It's a 4-level one. I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Okay. Why don't we try to work this 2 different ways? Okay. What's the first way? Somebody just tell me out loud one way that we could work this. What could we do? What?
Multiply by the reciprocal.
Now, you can't, because what is the reciprocal of this? It's 1 over 1 plus 1 over x. And you just kind of end up with the same thing that you have, all right? So, one thing is that we're going to have to learn is the old trick that they taught us in 8th grade about multiplying by the reciprocal. That's not going to work. But what, somebody throw something out, like just throw out something that we could do. Josie, what do you think we could do? Okay, the least common multiple of what? Tell me, be more specific. The least common multiple of what?
The bottom.
The bottom we call the what?
Denominator.
Denominator. Okay. Yeah, we could treat this as a fraction. And we could treat this as a fraction. Down here, what is the common denominator?
One
X. Okay. So now I have what here becomes what?
X.
X plus 1 over x, right? Is everybody happy with that? Okay, Kelsey, what's the common denominator up here? xy. Okay. What did I multiply this by to get xy? So what do I have to put up here? Y. Okay. Now, what did I have to, Kelsey, multiply this by to get this? So what do I have to multiply this by? X. Okay. Now what can I do? Yeah, now I can take the reciprocal. So now I have y minus x over xy times the reciprocal of the denominator, x over x plus 1, right? And then what do I get? I get x over x makes 1, so I have y minus x over x plus 1, right? And then I still have a y down there. Does that make sense? That x over that x made 1. So could everybody work the problem that way? All right, let me show you a different way to work it that I actually kind of like a little better. What can I multiply? Let's see. We'll just do it that way for now, right? Later on, I'll teach you more ways to do it. Okay. So this is the homework, and I'm not going to be here today, so I'll give you the homework in 2 different parts. So do Tuesday and do Wednesday. Do Tuesday, you have 18 through 28, and then do Wednesday, 29 through 33, 40 through 42, and the bonus is 62. Okay.